Welcome to LaGrave Field. Are we back in abandoned baseball park? Fans could have been sitting right here watching Hammer and Hank, you know? How amazing. Amazing LaGrave Field. Welcome to the Something or Other Tour. We're here in Fort Worth, Texas at LaGrave Field. LaGrave Field is a now abandoned minor league ballpark. It has a lot of awesome history, but it's been sitting here for over a decade now, just rotting away. The box office is closed, property's changed hands a few times, so its future is still very much up in the air. But you know me, I love sports history. No flagpoles, no scores. No fans, no players, no popcorn. Yeah, no hot dog vendors in the stands.
This was the home of two versions of the Fort Worth Cats, spanning nearly a century. LaGrave Field was a beloved location for Fort Worth area sports fans and is filled with baseball history. A large list of Hall of Famers and notable players came through here. Now it's been sitting here lifeless and rotting away for a decade. Let's look around and talk about some of that amazing history.
It's just one of those cool old ballparks, you know? It's right by the Trinity River. Really cool. Blocked off, but there's a cool little entryway with a historical plaque right there. Talks about some of the people that have played here. The original ballpark here was built in 1926. After that, there was fire, there was destruction. It was abandoned for decades, and they rebuilt it in 2001. It's actually been abandoned since about 2010 when the Fort Worth Cats folded.
The first Fort Worth Cats were a minor league team originally founded in 1888 as the Panthers. They gained a strong local following in the Texas League throughout the 20th century with many notable players and moments. From 1911, they played in Panther Park, which was just a few blocks away. It was so popular due to large Texas League success, including 6 consecutive championships, that they had trains to bring fans in. They soon needed to upgrade. It was replaced with the second iteration of Panther Park on this site, which was eventually renamed LaGrave Field after a team executive, Paul LaGrave, passed away. The Cats had a lot of success throughout the decades, winning handfuls of Texas League championships.
As a kid, I used to like to go under the bleachers.
For a long time, the winner of the Texas League would play a championship series against the winner of the Southern Association League, which was called the Dixie Series. The Dixie Series became a big cultural event in the South. We recently did a 2-part episode at Rickwood Field covering the history of the Birmingham Barons who played in the Southern Association. It turns out that the Barons and Cats actually met in the Dixie Series in 1948, which was played at both Rickwood Field and LaGrave Field when the Barons won the series 4-1. How amazing that these two ballparks I came to see independently of each other turned out to be linked. That kind of history is what keeps me searching, digging, and sometimes climbing my way through these experiences.
How cool. Think of all the fans, all the kids that will come up these steps, all excited to see a ball game. Let's see if the announcers are here.
During the initial run of the Cats, they were with multiple major league teams as mostly a Double-A affiliate. First, it was the Detroit Tigers, the Cincinnati Reds, the Brooklyn Dodgers, and finally the Chicago Cubs. Most of the minor leagues were suspended during World War II, and after the Texas League returned in 1946, a young U.S. Navy sailor returned from the war too. His name was Duke Snider, and he was part of the Dodgers system, who was now the Cats' major league club. Duke played for the Cats to start a legendary Hall of Fame career.
Here's one of the dugouts. When they renovated in 2001, they converted the old original dugouts into like suites. So they said it was the only ballpark that had 4 dugouts. There's something so fun and so pure about minor league baseball. It's intimate, up close and personal, it's traditional. But at the same time, they do things to try to keep the crowd interested, lots of games and fan interaction. It's so cool.
In 1949, the ballpark was hit hard by not just fire, but floods too, and it was heavily damaged. The Brooklyn Dodgers helped pay for repairs, and legendary GM Branch Rickey even helped make decisions on ballpark renovations. Former Cats catcher Bobby Bragan managed the team after playing for the Dodgers in the World Series. He had been an outspoken objector to Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier by joining the Dodgers as a teammate, before finally changing his tune. As fate would have it, he was manager when the first black player for the Cats was on the team, Maury Wills. Wills spent 9 seasons in the minor leagues before Bragan mentored him and campaigned for him to join the major league club, which he finally did, and he went on to make multiple all-star teams and even win league MVP, a feel-good story out of the long history of racism in baseball. In 2005, both men returned to coach the second version of the Cats at LaGrave Field for one day. Bragan became the oldest person to ever manage a professional baseball team at 87 years old, beating Connie Mack by just days.
Out on the field. We're at the right field bleachers with downtown Fort Worth right behind it. Pretty cool view. This is awesome though, huh? This is awesome. That was so far outside. Don't argue, dude. That was so far outside. I will toss you. Kidding right now.
A local kid named Rogers Hornsby was a high school dropout that worked at the Fort Worth Stockyards, which you may remember we did a video on years ago. Rogers ended up making it to the major leagues and landed himself in Cooperstown. After his playing career, the hometown hero Hornsby ended up managing the Cats until World War II suspended play for a few years. Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson was also a player on the Cats in 1955, before becoming an absolute legend in the dugout, mostly with the Detroit Tigers.
Get your gear. All right, kid, get warmed up. You're going in.
Me? Yes. You sure?
Oh, God. Oh, God. As you see on each side, there's 2 dugouts, so I guess fans could sit. I'm assuming the further one. And what's interesting is there's no clubhouse. This just ends. You just gotta walk out to the field and go to the parking lot.
During this era, before chartered planes and luxury hotels, even Major League ball clubs would mostly travel by bus. The teams traveled to warmer climates for spring training to get ready for the season before busing back across the country to their home city. On the way, they would make stops and play exhibition games for training purposes and promotional purposes. Because of LaGrave Field being right in the middle of Texas, a lot of teams would pass through. This gave LaGrave Field the chance to host a large list of absolutely legendary teams and players, including Babe Ruth, Warren Spahn, Ted Williams, Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Hank Aaron, Roy Campanella, and many more. Perhaps most notably, a young Jackie Robinson came through town with the Brooklyn Dodgers less than a year after breaking the color barrier to play an exhibition game against the Cats. The Brooklyn Dodgers ended up moving to Los Angeles in 1957, and with that, they shuffled their minor league teams and traded the Cats to the Chicago Cubs. After all the shuffling of teams and leagues, including a brief merger with the Dallas Rangers, the team folded after the 1964 season due to financial issues. LaGrave was mostly demolished, though dugouts, the field, and some of the foundation was left behind to molder in the weeds. Over 3 decades later, in 2001, the Fort Worth Cats were revived as an independent ball club, and LaGrave Field was rebuilt for the 2002 season. This second iteration of the Cats was not without its own stars. Jose Canseco came back at 48 years old to play a series with the Cats. Ageless wonder Julio Franco came back to the game at 55 years old to play for the Cats in 2014, with the same signature batting stance he always had. Most notably, sure thing future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer made his professional debut here at LaGrave Field amid a contract dispute with the Diamondbacks after being drafted. He dominated in his brief stint with the Cats, pitching 16 innings with 25 strikeouts and an unreal .56 ERA. This led to the Diamondbacks buckling and giving Scherzer the contract he desired.
Could you imagine me right here when Hank Aaron was up to bat? Jackie Robinson, Stan Musial, Roy Campanella. But apparently there are plans to renovate it. I heard something called Panther City. I do hope they renovate this. That'd be pretty cool. I'll come see a game here. That'd be awesome. Looks like the Sandlot a little bit. You're killing me, Smalls.
Again facing financial challenges, the team folded after the 2014 season with a small gasp of life in 2020 before the pandemic killed the idea. LaGrave Field has been sitting abandoned this whole last decade. Nearly a century of baseball dreams came here to live and die. Nearly a century of happy families and baseball fans enjoying this romantic game. Now it will all be lost in time, as it's been announced since the filming of this experience that the ballpark will be demolished. There's already an auction going on, selling off some of the parts. Well, it won't be the first time for this ballpark. Maybe LaGrave Field will rise from the ashes once again someday.
This is so awesome. Just can't get over the fact that Jackie Robinson played right here. Wonder if he hit any dingers. that's it for LaGrave Field. Awesome abandoned ballpark. We have a sports playlist and an abandoned playlist if this kind of thing is up your alley, as well as historical places and museums and events and all kinds. Something or other tour, you never know what you're gonna get. Remember, we have a Patreon, a lot of bonus content, bonus episodes. If you'd like to support the channel and get freebies along with it, like, subscribe, share, do all the cool things the cool kids do. Something or other tour, for life. LaGrave Field is right on the other side of this hill. Trinity River is right here. It's actually really cold. I knew it was gonna be a little chilly, but it's actually like really, really cold. I would want one of these cup holders if it said LaGrave Field on it, but it doesn't. Throwing popcorn, these people. If I was a little bad kid like he used to be.